You're listening to the Social U podcast, sponsored by Social University. Be sure to follow us on our socials listed in the show notes. Now, let's dive in.
I'm Becky Johnson.
And I'm Laura Black, and welcome to the Social U podcast.
This week, we wanted to talk about authenticity online because in recent weeks, we have talked a lot about fakeness online, about AI making videos that you can't tell if it's the real person or not, about people using so many filters that you can't even tell if they are human, much less if they are that person. If you saw them in real life, you would never recognize them. To start out, I would just like to give a shout out to our fearless leader, Caryn, because she is a very big proponent of this. And she is very, very open about the fact that she is not going to be filtered. She is not going to be presenting herself as anything other than what she is. And I just think that's really cool.
Yep. Caryn, she's going to give her opinion, going to know what she thinks, which is a good thing.
And I feel like it's so rare and refreshing today that people really appreciate it.
So when you think about authenticity and social media or just in business in general, what do you think about?
I think it mostly means to me, while staying in your lane, share your personality, your voice, your values, that kind of thing. Be who you really are. Don't be this fake front, because like we have said so many times, there's so much fake going around, and your audience is going to resonate more when you are yourself and you're authentic. So I know that's kind of a buzzword at the moment, authenticity, but it really is true. And honestly, it is everywhere. It's the Merriam-Webster 2023 word of the year, if you wanted to know.
Oh, wow.
Authentic is not authenticity, but authentic.
Yeah, it just shows you how much people are wanting that. People can
Exactly.
smell a fake a mile away.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, people are craving it in our world of fake outs and AI and making everything look better than it really is or worse than it really is.
That's a good point too, because people do that to other people, but also there's people that do that for themselves that are like, look how dramatic I am. Look how terrible everything is. Look at my first world problem. It's so incredibly hopeless.
Absolutely. I mean, it's crazy.
You just spilled your Starbucks. You'll be fine. Like... Get over it.
Yeah,
we don't need a montage about it.
I'm sorry your eyes melted. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, it's so true. I mean, come on, let's keep it real. And our kids or the next generation they're not going to have a clue on life.
They look and they see all these extremes. And then most people are not in those extremes. And then they're all thinking, I'm the oddball.
Yeah.
And they're not. They're the majority, but they feel like they're the oddball because all they see is the curated feed where everything is sunshine, rainbows, and roses.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not real life. And everybody doesn't have those cheekbones and those eyebrows and that full head of hair that comes with that filter that is really, really good and maybe hard to tell. Sometimes I feel like I can tell it's a filter because like it'll be somebody I know and I'm thinking, I saw you yesterday. You don't look like this. That's not you. But when it's people you've not met in real life and they're just influencers or celebrities, it's easy to just look at that and be like, why do all of these people look like this and I don't? Well, but like, look around, neither do your friends.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so true. I guess that leads us to, with digital marketing, how do you show in your social that you are authentic and you are real and you're not putting on an act? We could show a video of me right now and you'd know I was authentic. So I don't know, but I think that's important as a social media presence to work hard. And one of those ways was, like I was saying a minute ago, stay in your lane, share your true voice and your values and stick to that.
And it builds trust, I think, too, when people see that you're authentic. Some influencer a while back got in trouble because they were doing ads and sponsored content for this mascara that's supposed to make your eyelashes look thicker and longer. And they were saying, like, this is the only makeup I have on. And it was the only makeup that they had on, but they had fake lashes on. And they were not saying that the before was without the fake lashes and the after was with the fake lashes. A lot of people, when that came out, lost trust in that influencer because they felt like they had been scammed,
I mean, rightly so.
Yeah. It's like, that is not what made your eyelashes look so thick. And it might have been great mascara. I mean, you really did the product a disservice by doing that and not letting people see what it really looks like. Nobody's expecting it to look like false lashes, and just doing that, it makes the the audience feel played, and then they don't trust you anymore.
Yeah, for sure. Another way, I think that was one I had called, and I just had written, be real. I mean, be real, be truthful, be honest, be real. Don't try to do like they do on the packaging now that says in the grocery store that's organic this or organic that. But really, if you really boiled it down to all the processes they use and all that, I mean, they're getting away by saying that on a technicality.
Yeah.
And that to me is not honest.
Speaking of Be Real, is that still a platform? Do people still do that?
So I think so. I mean, it obviously, it's not in the spotlight anymore. That's for sure. You would know better than me, but I think my daughter said something about it yesterday.
So it's still a thing. Okay.
I think so. Another thing to keep it real and authentic is to respond to comments. Don't just let things go. Let people know there's a real person behind the phone or the keyboard or the whatever it is, and answer how you normally would. Don't just write some fake pat on the head answer. I mean, be real. That goes a long way too.
I think about the times when I have commented on a brand or a business and I've taken the time out to make the comment, and I don't expect to comment back. I know the younger generation now these days does expect a comment back, but maybe because I'm older or because I'm in this business, I don't ever expect a reply. So then when I get one, it really makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
It says something to me about that company. I'll go to a restaurant and I'll love it and I'll leave a review. And then when they're like, we're so glad you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming out. We'd love to have you back. It's just like, wow, they took the time to do that. Like they care about their customers. That's what you feel like, they care about the customers.
And isn't that good marketing? Yeah. They've created an emotion in you.
And I will say, being totally transparent, we give away a lot of stuff for free, and we do that because we want to help people. But we also do that because we know when we do help people, then when they need services, we're going to be the people that they think about because we've been the person that's already helping them.
Right.
So it's never bad to make your customers feel valued or your potential customers feel valued because they are valued. They are your audience.
It adds some kindness into the world. I mean, pay it forward and it may come back. It may not come back, but who cares?
Even if it doesn't come back from the person in particular, it will come back.
Well, that's true. That's very true. Something else you can do is, this is something I'm really bad at because Caryn's always begging for B-roll. I don't like to be on camera. I don't like to do all that. And to me, it feels scripted. I know it's not at all. And the whole point is to show the behind the scenes, but I struggle with that. So like I even got this handy dandy clip that's available in Becky's Amazon storefront if you want to know, link in bio. But I haven't used it for that purpose yet. One, because my kids keep stealing it, but two, because I just can't do it. But it feels scripted, but it's really not. So if we can give some behind the scenes, if we can like show real life, that I think makes a big difference.
I think it's really good when you have people that are in the office, unlike us, to have that one person that's taking the B-roll of the other people when they don't know it's about to happen. Yeah. So it is candid and it doesn't feel as scripted as if you stop working to set a camera up and point at yourself and then go back working.
Right.
And you're very conscious of it.
I could clip it over here and have it over to my left. And that's probably not my good side. We'll put it on the right. And I mean, it's too scripted for me.
One of the things I love about that little clip, because I'm looking at mine right now, I have it by my bed right here. And this is going to sound so horribly lazy, but I can lay on my back in the bed and put that phone in that clip and watch TV on it.
Yes. No, that's awesome because I was just whining, first world problems, that my hand was going to sleep because I was holding my phone up for too long.
Yes. And I don't want to drop it on my face. I don't know why, but my brain won't process if I try to watch TV while I'm on my side.
Uh-huh.
Like it has to be right side up to me. Like the whole TV would have to be on its side for me to watch.
Yeah, I can't do that either. Yeah.
So I want to lay on my back. And I even thought about getting one of those projectors for like the ceiling. That's the age I'm at now. But I was like, no, I can just put my phone in that little clip and I can watch TV.
That's so funny. Yeah. Okay. So note to Laura, try that tonight. Clip it on the bed and try it. And then have you seen the little things that Bluetooth to your phone? You can just like run your hand across it and it's a page turner or a scroller.
Oh, no, that's awesome.
It's almost like a ring that you can just run your thumb across it and turn a page.
That is awesome. It's like you have your own little trackball on there.
Yeah. Yeah. You could be like cooking dinner and flip the page or scroll to the next TikTok or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not ever going to be cooking dinner, but otherwise, I would find that useful.
Oh my word. I think my last thing I had jotted down before we got together was just being consistent. I don't know, be consistent with your authenticity, I guess, if that makes sense. Continue to show up and be who you want to be, your voice, your values, all that, and be consistent with that. It will pull through that message, I think.
It's kind of like, and we were talking about this today, me and some of my friends, when you see people at church and they're all dressed up and they're all polite and they're super sweet, and then you see them afterwards at the restaurant and they're being mean to the server and they're tipping bad and they're not being authentic. When they're in the restaurant, they're being authentic. That's who they really are, you know?
Yeah.
And people can tell the difference. And so I want to be known online and in real life as that person that what you see is what you get. I am me, and I am me everywhere I go all the time. And my business is what you see is what you get. And it is like this all the time.
I have this one good friend of mine, and you would think that she has an executive position. She's real well known in the community. She's the nicest person, and she is one person that she could have two different personas, but she doesn't. She is true through and through, and what you see is what you get, and she's so refreshing, and that's how we need to be everywhere.
And that's the people you want to do business with, because if they say they're going to do something, they're going to do it.
Yes.
And if they say they're going to do it well, they're going to do it well.
Yeah, agree.
And if they can't do it, they're going to tell you, hey, I don't think I'm a good fit for you.
Right.
My friend over here can do this. Why don't you check them out?
Yeah, exactly. Can't do it. Don't do it.
Yes. I would much rather have someone say, I can't do this, than try to do it and do it poorly. Because then, even if I don't use them for that service, then if I have something else that I need that they offer, it's not like I'm not going to go back to them. I'm going to go to them first because I know that they're going to be honest with me if they can't do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. I totally agree.
So what got us talking about this to begin with was the Dove campaign.
Oh, yeah.
Which we will put a link to in our show notes. But it was just really cool to see this campaign that they did.
And I'm going to jump in and say, I feel like we're slowly getting better with that, thanks to campaigns like the Dove campaign. And some of the other ones that show that beauty is all shapes and sizes and colors and everything. And I'm encouraged by seeing that, but it needs to continue.
It can't just be Dove.
Right.
Their chocolate tastes a lot better than their soap, by the way. If you were wondering. It's refreshing because now you have these ads and campaigns online where your daughters can see, hey, this is normal. It's normal to have a face full of freckles. It's normal to have a mom pooch on your belly. It's normal to be 50 and have crow's feet and not look like you just had a facelift. Like, all of these things are normal, and we have not been celebrating them. But you are right. I feel like we are moving forward in that and starting to see that more. Even not online, if you are like just shopping in the stores these days, the mannequins, there are more mannequins that look like real people. Not look like real people because they don't have heads, but look like real people because they're all shapes and sizes now.
Well, and also online, I shop online a lot, and you can a lot of times change the model to look more like you do, which is helpful when you're buying clothes, or just kind of gives you a better idea, which that's really nice too. So you're not sitting around guessing, wondering what it would look like for you. The more areas we put that in, the better.
The way this would relate to digital marketing, if you're here for the digital marketing tips, if you are posting only pictures of people that look like you, or if you have it in your head that your ideal customer avatar is one very specific look of a person, your customer avatar can be a specific type of person, and it should be, but that doesn't mean they all look the same. So you might consider, have I been using this kind of diversity in my posting? If somebody were to come look at my Instagram, are they going to see somebody that looks like them? Are they going to see somebody their age? Are they going to see somebody their size? Are they going to see somebody their color? And if not, why not? And can we fix that?
Right. Try to be anti-stereotypical.
Right. With the
Right.
obvious exceptions, if you sell plus size clothing, you don't want the size 0 model on probably any of your social media. But otherwise, those are very specific exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Caryn had a lot to say about this Dove ad. So I really want her to explain her thoughts on it because she had some very powerful feelings when she saw it.
A person went in and asked AI to generate images of a beautiful woman, and repeatedly, over and over, the images were blonde, blue-eyed, thin. Then it asked AI to generate a beautiful woman based on the Dove campaign, and it was heartwarming. You had people with physical disabilities. You had people of all different nationalities. You had women with curly hair, short, tall, plus size, thin. It ran the gamut because beauty comes in all shapes and sizes, and you can any nationality or any weight and still be quite beautiful. And I love to see that that is being portrayed online because more and more we are getting these fake images. We are getting these over filtered, over edited images of people, and it is very unrealistic. I am 53. I know that every single Kardashian photo is filtered all to hell. I know that. If I was 12 and I was looking at some of their cosmetic lines, I might have unrealistic body expectations based on the images that I see. I'm very not okay with that. I'm a strong, very firm believer in no filter. When you see us, when you hear us, we're unfiltered. I'm not going to go in and edit the way I look. This is the way I look. This is the way I sound. And if you don't like it, don't look at me.
I'm going to use a lot of makeup, but that's it. I love makeup. I love colors. I love playing in makeup. So sometimes I filter my own face in real life with all the makeup that I use, but that's where I draw the line.
Okay, yes. I do
And
makeup.
I feel like it's so much worse now than it was when we were kids, because I'm not telling everybody our age, but it used to be just the magazines, that were like that. But then the TV commercials started getting like that. And now everybody has it at our fingertips. So where does it end? It doesn't. You have to remember to be real.
There was an underwear campaign not too long ago, speaking of the Kardashians, and they had models in wheelchairs. They had models that were very different sizes, very different looking people, and were actually brought under fire because of some of the models they used. I won't tell you the name of the popular political person who said this because I don't want to bring her under fire, but she's like, I don't understand why you have to have a woman in a wheelchair in an underwear ad, because she still needs underwear.
Yeah, it's like they still wear underwear if you're in a wheelchair.
Come on. If anything, she needs more specific undergarments than someone who is not in a wheelchair. So don't criticize the company that's trying to be inclusive. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I will say, as somebody who is edging on up there in age and who has a mom pooch, sometimes when I look in the mirror, I want to be very critical of myself. But then when I see people, some of the people that I follow online that are my size and are my age, it's easy for me to look at them and think, wow, she's beautiful. And then when I think, oh, wow, she's beautiful, and I see that she's shaped like me and she's got those fine lines and wrinkles as well, it makes it easier to appreciate myself, because I'm like, what I see when I look in the mirror is not what other people see. They see what I see when I look at her. And it's a lot easier to look at someone else and be like, oh, yeah, she looks great, And so it makes you feel better because you know that that's what other people are seeing when they look at you. They're not looking at, oh, what size are you? Like, nobody's looking at my jeans, checking the size,
True. Rachel Peterson, who is a social media personality influencer, recently wrote a book called Unfiltered. And the cover is a picture of her in a blazer. And if you scan down the book cover, her mom belly is showing. And I don't mean she's pregnant. I mean her post-mom belly with stretch marks and loose skin and the whole completely unfiltered. That's the bravest thing I think I've ever seen.
That is, I can't imagine doing that. That is pretty tough, pretty impressive.
I saw somebody on TikTok the other day that had lost a whole bunch of weight, and they were doing their weight loss video, and they were showing all the loose skin on their stomach. And even then I'm like, wow, they look great. Like,
right.
they probably have enough loose skin that they're going to have to get surgery. But still, I was like, she looks so good. Why can't I think I look good?
I know, right? Right. And then furthermore, you can take into what an amazing accomplishment that this, that's another reason to celebrate them.
Right. Yeah. And everything is not an endorsement. I know there's some people that are like, oh, well, this person is unhealthy. While for instance, this person has lung cancer because they smoked their whole life. And now we're showing them here with their oxygen tank. And it's like, listen, you don't have to agree with someone's life choices to recognize that they are a human being and deserve the same things that you deserve. And when people are overweight, it's not always because they don't have self-control. Sometimes it's genetic. Sometimes it's hormonal. Sometimes there are underlying conditions that they have no control over. Sometimes it's medicine that they have to take for something else that causes them to put on weight. And for you to be like, well, I don't want to endorse this unhealthy lifestyle. They may have a healthier lifestyle than you have.
You cannot look at someone and tell if they are healthy. There are thin unhealthy and there are plus size healthy. You cannot determine health based on appearance, period.
At the end of the day, if you're not walking in their shoes, you have no right to say anything.
And if all they eat is 25 Big Macs a day, that's still none of your business, and they still need underwear.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, the campaign was a couple of years ago, and it was the Skims line from Kim. I think it was Kim Kardashian, and which
is ironic.
Yeah, it really kind of is, considering she's under fire for filters constantly. But she included a model in a wheelchair and got a ton of criticism from several people online about how ridiculous that is. She also had several people come to her defense to say, give me a break. Christina Applegate was one of those people. She's recently been diagnosed with MS, and she spoke out against the broadcaster who was so critical about the wheelchair model and very specifically said, do you have any idea how hard it is for me to get dressed? And it takes more than one person to assist me. It was very moving.
And I've seen her in interviews as well, where she's been like, I don't want your applause. I don't want you to talk about how brave I am. I just want to be treated like a normal person. And that's what that is. This is like, hey, this is a normal person. So this week in social media, something that I want to talk about, because I saw this yesterday, but it has burnt me up. So we all know that these IRL streamers will do really ridiculous things for views. So I don't know if you're familiar with the platform Kick, but they have these live streamers that go on there and do crazy things, usually harmless things, sometimes obnoxious things. But this week, there was a girl named Natalie Reynolds that did a dangerous thing. And she was on this scavenger hunt. You guys know, I love a good scavenger hunt. She was on this scavenger hunt where she was having to find this RFID chip that was supposed to be out in the middle of a lake. Now, she is super young, fit little girl. And she had a couple of guys with her that were filming. And so they get to this pier where they know that they have to go find this chip. And there's a lady there. The lady is obviously out of it. I don't know if it was mental illness. I don't know if she was on a substance, but she was very obviously impaired in some way. Mm-hmm. And so she starts talking to this lady and making fun of her, really, but the lady didn't understand that she was making fun of her, saying, do you want to go swimming? You want to go swim with me? And she's like, sure, I'll go swim with you. And she was like, you go first. And she was like, no, you better go first. You go first. And then she's like, I'll give you $20 if you'll jump in and find this chip for me. I'll give you $20. And the girl's like, okay. And she keeps telling her she's going to jump in with her. And she keeps saying, like, we're going to skinny dip together. I'm going to jump in with you. And finally, after harassing this lady for several minutes, the lady jumps in. And she tells her too, before she jumps in, the lady's like, well, I don't know, like, I'm scared. And she's like, well, I'm scuba certified, so you don't have anything to worry about. I'm scuba certified. Like, she's going to save her, if there's a problem. And I failed to mention, this is a place where you are not allowed to swim because the water is rough and also nasty. It is not water you would want to be in. So this lady jumps in the water. And then she acts so shocked. She is just like, I didn't tell her to jump in. And even the guys with her are saying, yes, you did. Like, you told her you'd give her $20. And so the lady's in the water and she's saying, come in with me. The girl is like, should we leave? Like, what should we do? Should we leave? I didn't think she'd really jump in. Then the woman starts screaming and saying that she can't swim. She can only float. And she's like floating off because of the current and she can't swim. And Miss Scuba Certified decides that's the time they need to get in the car and leave before they get in trouble. They could have killed this woman.
Yeah.
As they are leaving, they're still filming and she's laughing the whole time. At no point did she get upset about this. She's laughing as the woman is saying, I can't swim. They're in the car, and the only thing that seems to cause her any kind of bad feeling whatsoever is that the people on her live stream are saying things like, you're a terrible person. This woman could be dying. What are you doing? Why are you leaving? Call 911. Get her help. As they're leaving, they pass fire trucks that are going towards the lake, and all this girl can think about is, am I going to get in trouble? Am I going to get in trouble?
She should.
And now all these people, and it's made me very happy to see all these other streamers calling her out and all these people that are viewers calling her out. And it's like, listen, you can't get by with that kind of behavior because you're cute and in your 20s. Like, she thinks, I'm so beautiful that if I put on a bathing suit next week, everybody will forget about this. And it's like, you almost killed somebody. Praise the Lord that person did not die. But you left her there and didn't even call anybody, did not call the authorities, did not tell anybody, hey, that lady needs help. You just got in the car and left while she tells you she's drowning.
It's not okay to torture someone physically or mentally for views, period.
And made fun of her even after she was in the water. After she jumped in the water, the lady was in a long T-shirt, and I don't think she had anything on under it. And all she kept saying is, did you see her bleed? Did you see her bleed? And she just made fun of her the whole time as she's drowning in the water.
I wasn't familiar with that at all until you sent it to me. And I think my blood was boiling as I was listening to it. And I got to where I just couldn't even watch because the girl made me so mad. How can you be so unkind, uncaring about human life? How the making fun, first of all, and then the nasty escalation, and then not caring. And then she, to me, I didn't think she cared at all. I mean, she was laughing kind of, oh, what do we do? But I thought it was so fake. It was so bad. You've got to be kidding me. It's horrid.
There's a group of young male YouTubers who went to Walmart and they found a family and told a young boy, that they were going to buy him a gift. And they let him get excited about it and then took it away from him in the checkout line. Now, did it kill him? No. Was it cruel unnecessarily? Yeah. Who does that?
If I were the parent, would I kill them? Yes.
Yes.
And why are we to that point?
Oof.
Thankfully, so many are not to that point, and there is a ton of good in the world. But this seems to be growing, this movement, this kind of thing. And why is that okay?
When I was watching that, all I could think to myself is, this lady is obviously a narcissist and maybe a sociopath and is definitely dangerous. And why is there no accountability?
Well, exactly.
I mean, you have her on film, on a live stream. Millions of people have seen it. Why is there no accountability? Why is nobody doing anything? The least that should happen, is that she should get kicked off of Kick, because that's where she's making her money. And that's why she's doing these things. But the most is she should go to jail.
There should be civil and criminal accountability. She should lose her platform and she should go to jail. It is not okay to endanger another person for clicks, period.
I think that's another reason why, to me, it feels fake. Because why would that be public if they're not going to, if something's not going to happen with that? But at the very least, even if it is, it's encouraging other people to do it and kids to do it. So why is that allowed there too?
I looked it up to see if I could find stories about it. One, because I wanted to make sure that the lady lived. I was able to find several. Yes, I was able to find several news stories about it, and it was not staged, sadly. Well, that should be at least attempted manslaughter.
At least. I do want to give another shout out to Dove. While we've been talking about this stuff, something else occurred to me, and it's been a few years. They did a separate campaign where they had people describe themselves to an artist, and the artist would paint their picture. And then they had someone else describe themselves to the artist, and the artist would paint the picture. And you compared the pictures, the ones where they were describing themselves were never as attractive as the ones where other people described them. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the best campaigns I've ever seen. because they were trying to make people understand you're more beautiful than you think.
I love that other side of it too, because it's not just what we think about other people, but I mean, I'm guilty of looking in the mirror and not being happy at all, and I'm glad that they point that out. That's really beautiful.
And from a digital marketing standpoint, you don't want to just give facts about your products. You want to make people feel emotions, because people feeling emotions will buy things way quicker than people that just hear facts. So it's brilliant. Like, I don't understand how other people think ostracizing a large portion of the community is going to help them sell products. It's actually not.
Well, they've been inclusive for years. I mean, kudos to Dove as a brand for stepping up and running a campaign where everyone benefits. I love that.
It's beautiful storytelling.
It is. I watched an account owner post a picture of their child and edit it.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Oh, why would you do that to your kid? And you're teaching your kid to be insecure about their appearance from the beginning of their life.
I know a mom who does that with both of her kids and her husband. And I know them in real life, and they look completely different. And it's not for anonymity. Their self-image is going to be in the toilet if it isn't already.
When I was doing photography, I used to do family photos and stuff. And the only time I would ever Photoshop anything on a child would be if they had, right before the photo session, like got a cut on their face,
right,
or a black eye, or something that would not normally be there that was going to go away. But like, I'm not removing any kids' freckles. I'm not changing any kid's size. I'm not taking off like anything that is going to be on that kid when they look in the mirror all the time.
Right. And to be fair to these other kids I was talking about, they're good-looking kids.
Yeah, but if your mom is editing your appearance, how attractive can you be?
Well, exactly. So it's awful. Every time I see it, I go,
right. If mom doesn't think you look good enough, you're not going to think anybody does, because mom's supposed to be your biggest fan.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
My nephew and my son joke around about the fact that I am the biggest fan of my family in particular. And my son has joked around and said, if I got arrested for felony murder, you'd be in the court being like, but you were the most handsome felony. You
did the best murder ever.
You did the best murder. Right? Who's my big boy? Yeah. He's like, you're supposed to start at home. And that does not include being constantly reinforced that you're not good enough by having your parent edit your images. Wow.
Social media hotline. Are you ready?
Social media hotline. Mm-hmm. Can we create a Facebook event for your event? Sure. This starts in 2 hours. No. Okay. Bye-bye.
Short and sweet and to the point.
Surprisingly, that happens pretty often.
Why do people do this to us? And then we're the bad guy because we can't create the event and make it super popular and have tons of people come to it because we found out today your event is today.
I also love, can you boost the post at the time the event starts?
Yeah, like what's the point?
Sure, but we'll waste your money.
And conversely, we do have companies. I'm going to use this as a positive example. Momentum Leadership is a local group that focuses on empowering women leaders. They do a great job of promoting. They have a massive event every other year. The campaign starts 6 months before. We start talking about it months before. The advertising, it is locked down and sold out at least 30 days before the event, which is the way it should be. That's the example. That's how it should be. It should not be me finding out at a board meeting 2 weeks before the event that you changed the date and it's 2 weeks from now and we haven't even put an event up. Oh no. And there's different versions of this. If you're a retailer and you're having a sale inside the store, you don't need to promote it necessarily a month out. That's extreme. But if you're having an event where there are ticket sales involved, yeah, it's and you wait until 2 weeks before it's over. It's already over.
So true. Yeah, they really do a bang up job. They are so organized and do such a fabulous job. They really are a great example of how to do it. And they don't start too early, but they don't start too late. And they really hit that sweet spot, which you kind of have to do. And if you don't know what that is, that's when you need a little help.
Yeah, that's what we're
And
for.
numbers don't lie. Like they do it the way they're supposed to do it, and it works.
Yep.
Well, I did event. I've worked in event promotion before my last corporate job, and Birmingham is if you don't know, I am in Birmingham, Alabama. Laura and Becky are not, but I am. And Birmingham is a big last minute city. People will not make reservations here until the day before the event. And you can't do that. So the fact that a Birmingham organization is selling out 1,500 tickets 30 days before the event, that's a big deal.
Yeah. And we've both lived in Birmingham, so we get it too. And I mean, it's so true. Very last minute.
How many times have we had somebody come up to us like a week before an event and say, "Hey, when should I start promoting this?" And we're like, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Well, and again, if you're a location, if you're a retailer and you're having an event, you want to promote it way in advance. But if you're having a sale, you got to be careful, because if you promote it too far in advance, people forget about it.
Right.
That's
Right.
true.
Got to hit that sweet spot on both of them.
Yeah, you really do.
Sippin Social Media Tea. This one hurt my heart because I can only imagine. It says, my girlfriend is the only social media manager for a holiday firm. She got a 30-day post block for calling someone a goofball on her main account. And now she can't post anything for the work account for a whole month.
Goofball.
She called somebody a goofball, and now every account she's associated with, she can't post for a month.
Wow, I've said worse than that already today.
Imagine having to explain to your boss, I cannot post this month because I called somebody a goofball on my regular account.
Well, in case you are tuning in with us for the first time, now might be a good time for me to remind you, you need to back up on every account.
Amen.
Especially Facebook. You need to back up on.
Maybe a couple on Facebook.
Maybe 10. Yeah. All the backup.
You need a little insurance, because you never know in this mad world.
You need a couple of people with admin access so that if you get locked out, somebody has all the control that you had.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also
Obviously
hearing
someone you
a side
trust.
note, right? I'm hearing a side note. Maybe I should call somebody a goofball, and then I can get a vacation.
That's not funny. I know you're not funny.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Later today, Caryn goes and looks at all of our social media, and everybody's like, "You're a goofball." She's a
Don't worry.
goofball.
There's a backup on everything because I know what to do.
Well, as a social media company, I do look at everybody's social media before they get hired, because after you get hired, you stop posting for yourself anyway.
That
I
is
did not.
so true. I do like very randomly. Becky's really good about it, but I'm so random.
Becky is the documentarian of her life. There
I
is
used
not
to be.
a single person she has ever met that there is not physical evidence that they were together.
Yeah, I used to. Now I post more of my dog.
Yeah.
I want people to know that I love them. And one of the ways I do that is to memorialize our friendship in a picture.
You are the
If
best.
I know you and we don't have a picture together, we're probably not great friends.
I'm a little offended because on my birthday, I don't think you put our picture together out. Just saying.
Becky, how could you?
She's like, wait, I probably did. No, I'm going to check. I'm totally kidding.
I'll be expecting the video that was made at the conference where you guys are in the circle to be posted in the next 24 hours.
You know what makes me mad is used to Facebook would, when you went to your birthdays for the day, it would say, do you want to post this picture of you and this person?
Really?
And it doesn't do that anymore.
Is that how you did all that?
Yes, it would always say,
word.
here's 5 pictures of you with Caryn. Do you want to post this for her birthday or just say happy birthday?
This is
And
Laura
I would-
doing on herself because she doesn't have any pictures of.
No.
But if it doesn't show up for you, that means there's no ussies with you and people.
That's what it means.
Well, and I don't do that, so I really don't even go and look at birthdays. But I was just like, you just ratted yourself out because I was so impressed that Becky took the time to go and do that. I was like, that's amazing.
And what's crazy is now it'll randomly do it like once every 10 days. It'll give you the option to do the picture with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, it's now trying to get you to do those little Bitmojis instead.
Oh, those are
And
dumb.
those kind of just drive me crazy sometimes. They're not as cute as my real friends' pictures are.
That's
Now,
right.
the one that I will go look for a picture and post it is if I have a picture of you and me and a famous person, I'm totally going to post that on your birthday. just to remind you that at one point you were with somebody super cool and
Well,
a famous person.
Let me take this moment to point out I would cheerfully love to be photographed with two famous people in particular. Let me just throw that out there.
Okay, who?
Really?
Yeah.
Tell her, Becky.
People that I've had my picture made with.
Jealous.
I'm going to guess Jensen Ackles.
That'd be my first guess. Yeah.
Is the second one going to be Jared Padalecki?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I figured too, but I was like, well, just put it out there.
Because there's others on there that are also good to have your picture
To
made
be
with.
fair, I would cheerfully accept photographs with any member of the Supernatural cast, but those two in particular. You know, you can't pass up Sam and Dean.
Misha Collins.
So my kid watches that all the time, as you know. And I heard it when I went by, and I heard who's the bad guy? The one we sent you your best boss day thing.
Oh, Satan.
Oh, Mark Pellegrino.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that voice is familiar. And I looked, and it was one of the younger. He looked a lot different, and or just younger, I guess. And I was like, wait, is that? And she's like, well, of course it is. I was like, oh, I know who he is.
You're like, he has said my name before.
I know. And then I'm way late to the game, but I started watching Gilmore Girls, and I saw Jared Padalecki.
Yeah, when he was 12.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, Emma. My kid. Hey, is that? Yep, that's him. Like, I'm not super into it. I'm like, watch a little bit at a time and go, it's enough for now. I just can't get into it.
So when you are watching Supernatural, you don't really get an idea of how tall these people are, because it looks like Jared is normal size and that Jensen's a little shorter and that Misha is a little shorter. Misha Collins is like 6'1".
Wow.
They are giants. So the thing that she's talking about, where I got to meet him a few times and get my picture made, I was giving Jared Padalecki a hug, and I promise you that my face was like at belly button level. Like hugging a tree. Like I couldn't even see his face from where I was on the earth. He is so tall.
Yeah. His wife is short also, but yeah, she is extremely fit, and there's videos where she's picking him up instead of him picking her up. So
that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Tall, yeah. And for those of you who are not super fans, he's the new Walker Texas Ranger. He's the new.
Really?
Yeah. Now
I could get into that. I'm not real big into like supernatural stuff. So, I could get into that.
Bite your tongue, woman.
I mean, I do live in Texas. Come on. All right. Join us next week for the next edition of the Social U podcast. And hopefully Becky will feel a lot better.
Gonna have that voice back. It's gonna happen.
It is. You're going to get better. Go take some vitamin C and feel better.
Thanks for listening to the Social U podcast, sponsored by Social University. We'll see you next week.